The sudden disappearance of Katie Horn and the events surrounding it left the small, peaceful town of Traverse City, Michigan, in shock. What seemed like an ordinary life was soon caught in a web of mystery and speculation. Was it simply a teenage rebellion? Or was something much darker lurking beneath the surface? Traverse City is a beautiful, vibrant town located on the shores of Lake Michigan, known for its natural beauty, culinary scene, and welcoming atmosphere. It's a place where tourists flock all year round to enjoy its colorful autumns and serene landscapes. For many, it's the perfect town to live in. Peaceful, safe, and surrounded by nature. It was this town that 16-year-old Katie Horn and her mother Janice moved to in the early 1990s, hoping for a fresh start. Katie was a typical teenager, sociable and full of ambition. She had a passion for marine biology, loved dolphins, and dreamed of becoming a scientist. She was well liked by her friends, and her future seemed bright. But on September 26, 1994, Katie's life took a dark and mysterious turn. That day, Katie's best friend, Jen Nazar, went to check on her after school. Katie had been supposed to spend the weekend with Jen and return home afterward. But when Jen showed up at Katie's house, her mother Janice immediately knew something was wrong. Jen confessed she hadn't seen Katie in days. Katie had gone to the nearby town of Gaylord with friends on Friday night, according to Jen. They visited a local cafe, a popular hangout for teens. Around 1:30 a.m., some friends wanted to go home, but Katie stayed behind. She was later seen getting into a van with a guy named David, but that was the last anyone had heard from her. Fearing the worst, Janice reported her daughter missing. The police were used to handling missing person reports, but this case felt different. Katie's mother insisted that her daughter would never run away. The investigation began with tracking down David, the man who had last been seen with Katie. David was found easily enough. He claimed he had given Katie and a few others a ride to Mansalona before dropping them off. But when asked if he knew where Katie was now, he seemed as puzzled as anyone. He even passed a polygraph test, which left the investigators stumped. But then, disturbing details about Katie's life began to surface. A former boyfriend, Eric Keaston, mentioned that Katie had been involved in occult practices and black magic. According to Eric, they had participated in rituals together, and their group's leader was a man named Tim Coppett. Tim, Eric said, was the head of a local cult that dabbled in black magic and strange rituals. Eric told investigators that Tim might have been preparing Katie for something grand, something dark. With these new leads, the police turned their attention to Tim Coppett. His home, located in a secluded area, was filled with bizarre symbols, robes, and other unsettling items. Tim admitted to being the leader of a group that practiced nature worship, but he denied any involvement with Satanism or human sacrifices. However, his evasive answers made the police suspicious. Tim lived only a short distance from where Katie had last been seen. But when questioned about her disappearance, he claimed to have no idea where she was. He even volunteered to take a polygraph test, which, to the surprise of the police, he passed. As the weeks passed, the investigation hit a dead end. Tim was no longer a suspect, and there were no solid leads. The people last seen with Katie, including David and her friends, all provided alibis that checked out. Many theories emerged in the town. Some believed Katie had run away with a new boyfriend, while others thought she had gotten involved in something far more sinister, perhaps as a sacrifice in a dark ritual. But the truth remained elusive. Katie was just a teenager, a free spirit, and a fan of music, specifically the band Grateful Dead. On the night of her disappearance, she was last seen with a group of friends: Tyler, his girlfriend Carrie, and Jim. Tyler later confessed to police that he had offered Katie a place to stay that night, but she insisted on going back to Traverse City to attend a concert with friends. When questioned, Tyler appeared cooperative, sharing details about the evening. But there was something about his demeanor that made the police uneasy. They needed to know more, so they asked him to take a lie detector test, which he passed. The investigators hoped this meant he had nothing to hide, but they were about to discover that Katie's fate was intertwined with a darker reality. The next day, the police interviewed Carrie, who echoed Tyler's story. Both were seemingly innocent, but as they probed deeper, another piece of the puzzle emerged. Jim mentioned that Katie had talked about meeting members of the Rainbow Tribe at the concert. Who were these people? The Rainbow Tribe were devoted fans of Grateful Dead, often traveling with the band and living a lifestyle that included substance use. It was concerning that Katie had intended to join them. The police realized they needed to track down these fans, who might know what happened to Katie. Despite extensive efforts to find the Rainbow Tribe, they learned that Katie never arrived. Friends and family held on to hope, but after months of searching, the situation began to look grim. Then, in a twist, an anonymous tip came in. A boy named Sean Bard called to confess that he had killed Katie Horn. This shocking confession left investigators puzzled, as the call lacked any details. They visited Sean, but he appeared confused and vehemently denied the claim. The lead went cold. For over a year, Katie's case stagnated, until one day in May 1996, mushroom hunters discovered clothing near Hudson Lake Road. They found items that matched what Katie had been wearing when she disappeared. This discovery reignited the investigation, but it brought with it the harsh reality that Katie was likely dead. As detectives continued their work, they made another horrifying discovery: human remains. They confirmed the bones belonged to Katie Horn, and it was determined her death was violent, but the specific cause was unclear. Her mother was devastated, but relieved to have some closure. However, the search for Katie's killer continued. For 3 years, leads dried up until a newspaper article about the case reignited interest. A man named Paul Uford came forward, recalling a green van he had seen parked on Pike School Road just days after Katie's disappearance. Inside, he spotted a girl who looked like Katie and a man digging a hole nearby. This was the break the police had been waiting for. Investigators quickly connected Paul's sighting to David Chinsky, a man known for his green van. He was already in prison for unrelated crimes, but the evidence was mounting against him. Witnesses recalled David behaving oddly after Katie's disappearance, even asking a neighbor to clean out his van. Finally, police had enough circumstantial evidence to arrest David for Katie's murder. During the trial, the prosecution pieced together the story, despite the absence of a clear motive. After deliberation, the jury found David Chinsky guilty and sentenced him to 35 to 52 years in prison. While the court offered some closure, the exact details of what happened to Katie during those fateful hours remained shrouded in mystery. For the community of Traverse City, the pain of loss lingers, a reminder of a young life taken too soon. Katie Horn's story serves as a chilling testament to the fragility of life and the darkness that can hide behind seemingly innocent facades. What do you think about this tragic story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Telegram for more updates. All links are in the description below this video. Until next time.